welcome back to my channel. Today you'll see I'm in a slightly different location. To be honest, I've always fancied being a bit of a country bar presenter, so here I am in my local park. I thought I'd bring you out with me for the morning. So I'm just going for a little walk, but I thought I'd just introduce my next video while I was at it. So today's video is all about what I've been making in May. It's actually part 2 of a 2-part series. You can check out part 1 on my video from last week if you want to go back and check that out. Otherwise, stick with me and you'll see what I've been making for myself and also for my baby to be. So today's video is really all about what I've been making for myself and also for my new arrival, which will be on the way in September. So I've got lots of bits and pieces to show you today. So what I thought I'd do is start off with the clothes and then run on to other bits and bobs that I've been making for baby as well. So but I hope you've been having a lovely week, whatever you've been up to, and you've managed to squeeze in a little bit of sewing time as well. Please do leave me a comment below. I love to hear what you're making and what you've been crafting and stuff. I do find it quite inspirational and it does give me thoughts of things that I'll do myself in the future as well. So yeah, please do leave me a comment and I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. I think I shall start with what Flora's wearing. So Flora is my mannequin and today she is wearing a Nielsen darling dress. So this is actually a regular pattern, it's not a maternity pattern or anything like that. I was actually inspired to make it by quite a few people that I've seen online, as well as Claire from Claire's Creations on Instagram, and also I watched a video over on the Secret Life as a Seamstress channel and I absolutely loved seeing her darling collection as well. So you might actually notice I've got a few marks on it because I was wearing this out and about in the garden yesterday and it's probably ready for the washing machine, but I did want to show it to you. So I've actually used a Higgs & Higgs fabric to make this. I'll put some pictures up on the screen so you can actually see a bit more of a closer view of the actual fabric, but it's really sweet. It's got little tiny dogs all over it. So as you know, I love dogs. I've got a Labrador myself, but I just absolutely love anything to do with dogs really. Finding this fabric just seemed like it was just a dream, so I had to buy it and order it online as soon as I found it. And there's little tiny red collars on the dog, so I thought why not kind of pick that out and kind of add a pop of colour with the buttons. So the buttons that I've used are kind of a orangey red type colour, but I think that they really just add something a little bit different to the front of the dress, so I'm quite pleased with that. Now, one thing that I decided to do with this pattern, just to make it a little bit more maternity friendly for myself, was to reduce the length of the bodice. So I have seen that other people have done this online, so it's not something that I've just come up with myself, but I've actually reduced the bodice length by around about an inch, which I found has worked quite well. The actual fit of the dress is very loose, and to be honest, if I was to make it again, I may make it in a smaller size. I made this in a size medium and it has got quite a lot of room in it. I've actually got it pulled in at the back with a belt at the moment, so but I'll show you that in a second. But yes, it is very loose when I wear it, which is good because I've got room for my growing baby bump, and also it's really good to wear at the moment, you know, here when it's like a little bit warmer and stuff. But I think generally when I'm not pregnant, I'd probably prefer a bit of a tighter fit. So potentially next time I'll either downsize to a size small, or I might use the medium pattern and just make a few little alterations to it. I could potentially add in some back darts, I think. I think I'll probably just raise the V at the front here a little bit, because for me, I found that it's probably because it's too big, but it is a little bit too low cut and I don't feel that comfortable in wearing it. And of course at the moment I don't really want to wear a camisole underneath it or anything like that because I'd just be too hot. The only other change that I made was, and I'll just spin Flora around so you can see, and again I will put a picture up on the screen so you can see this a little bit more closely. The pattern actually comes with a very small kind of belt type thing that you add on right at the end of the sewing process. But I absolutely love bows and I just wanted something that was big and a little bit bolder. So I decided to cut my own belt pieces and actually sew it into the side seams when I was actually sewing up the dress. So I've actually made quite a long bow here, which you can see and then obviously tying it at the back. Now the good thing about that for me at the moment is that, you know, as it is very loose, if I undo it, you'll see how loose it actually is. So it's got this lovely gathered skirt at the front and the back, but there is quite a lot of room in it there. So just adding on the tie belt does make a big difference, and it just means that I can have it as loose or as fitted as I want it really. So but I'm quite pleased with that generally, and I think I'll probably get quite a lot of wear out of it over the summer. So on to other projects that I've got for myself actually on the horizon. I'm really excited to reveal that I have been asked to join the Simple Sew blogger team, so I'm really just over the moon about that. So my first project has arrived in the post, and I'm looking forward to making this over the next, well, maybe week or so if I've got time. So I'm going to make the Tara dress by Simple Sew. So I'll just hold that up so you can actually see it. So this is a button back dress. It says the Tara dress brings a dash of fun, 60s fashion to your wardrobe with its classic baby doll appeal, flattering empire line fit, which of course is quite suitable for me at the minute with the growing bump, and it does actually have a button back closure. So there's view A and then view B, so there's two different versions, one's shorter and one's longer. So I think I'll probably go for view B just so that I've got that a little bit of extra length. It is supposed to have buttons on the back, but I'm kind of thinking, do I need to keep the buttons on the back? Because I'm not sure how easy that will be for me to get in and out of. So I'm thinking that I potentially might replace the buttons with maybe a concealed zipper instead. But I'm going to see. I'm not sure what fabric I'm going to use for this yet. I'm using some of my fabric that I've got in my stash. So I think I've got two choices. I've either got a cotton lawn that I might use, or I may go for more of a scuba fabric, which is probably not that suitable for summer, but maybe towards the end of my pregnancy or afterwards, I think I'll probably get much more wear out of it. I shall keep you posted on how I'm getting on with my first Simple Sew project, and I shall feed back to you in one of my future videos. So on to things I've been making for the baby. So this is really exciting. There's so many different things that you can make for babies, and I've been trying to use up as many pieces of scrap fabric and whatnot at home as I can. However, of course, I've not really got that many fabrics that are necessarily suitable. So where possible, I've been reusing things in my stash or using up bits of fabric that I've already got. And then I have actually ordered a few bits and pieces as well, which I'll talk you through as we go. So the first thing that I've made is a little bit different for me. So I've actually made a hare. So as you can see, he's got these lovely ears, and I've tried to make it sort of child safe. Rather than sewing on buttons and whatnot for the nose and the eyes, I've actually used an embroidery thread to actually sew the nose and the eyes. And he's made out of some fabric that I had left over from my Tilly and the Buttons Eden coat that I made. So I guess if you wanted to, you could probably make clothes for the hair and things like that. I haven't actually on this occasion. My plan is that he'll probably sit up on a shelf in the nursery, and then maybe when baby's a little bit bigger, he can get the bunny down and play with him. So he's really cute. He's got these really long legs as well, which are really nice, and yeah, I love him. So what I might do is make the other characters from the pattern pack as well. So he was really easy to do, didn't take me too long. So it's actually made from this Curious Rose pattern. I'm not sure, I'm guessing you can buy these online. To be honest, I've not had a look, but yeah, so there is the pattern. I bought this a couple of years ago when I went to the Handmade Fair in Surrey, and it's the Handmade Fair that's run by Kirsty Allsop from the telly. So I've had this in my stash for a while, and I've been kind of wanting to get around to making it but haven't, but I just felt like having a baby just seemed like the perfect chance to kind of go ahead and make these different animals. So there's other things in the pattern pack that you can make as well. There's a mouse, there's a different bunny rabbit, so obviously I've made the hare, so there's a bunny rabbit here, and there's a cat as well. So yeah, if I've got time, then I might try and make a few different versions of this. I have actually got some old grey wool fabric, I think, in my box upstairs, so I may have a go at making the bunny, not the bunny, the mouse, because that would probably work quite well in the grey fabric. Or I guess you could just make one in anything really. You can make it in like a leftover chambray or a denim or anything you've got lying around really. So I found this really fun because it's just something completely different to what I usually make, and yeah, it was just quite nice. I cut it out in front of the TV one night, and then I pretty much sewed it up in one afternoon, so that worked really well. The next thing I wanted to show you is a project that was actually recommended by one of my friends. Now my friend has already got a couple of little boys of her own, and she said that one of the things that she's found really useful is when you have a kind of nappy bag, being able to just dig in there and pull out a drawstring bag that's got, say, a change of clothes in, or nappies, or you know, whatever you want to put in the bag basically. So I already had this green fabric in my stash, and this was left over from a bag project that I actually did for myself, I think sometime last year. So it's just a cotton poplin fabric, so it's not an expensive fabric or anything like that, but it will wash really well, and it will mean that it scrunches up so it can fit into a bag, or it can fit into the car, or you know, wherever I might need to put it. So it's a really simple project, literally 2 pieces, one for the front, one for the back. I didn't use a pattern, I've literally just drawn out 2 rectangles to the size that I wanted, and then I created a channel through the top, and then I've put this ribbon through, which is quite cute. I actually got this at Christmas time. I think it was a Secret Santa gift, which was really nice, from one of my sewing friends. So yeah, it says homemade on it, which I thought was quite cute really. If I just hold that up, you might be able to see it. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. I just put 1 buttonhole at the front, which I think was about a size 17 buttonhole on my machine, and threaded the ribbon through, so easy peasy really. So I think that will probably be quite useful. Now, a few of the other things that I've got to show you here will again be kind of practical type things. 2 of them I'll show you first that I've not actually quite finished yet, but I didn't think you'd mind if I just showed you how I was getting on with them. So this fabric is come from Esty online, so it took probably 2 or 3 weeks for my parcel to arrive, but I was pleased when it actually did. So I've got this elephant fabric here, which if I just hold that up, you'll be able to see, which I thought would be really cute for baby. So it's a muslin type fabric, and literally all I've done is folded over the fabric. I've stitched it on the inside with my overlocker because it was quite a frayed type fabric. And then all I've done is I'm going to top stitch it all the way around just to keep it nice and flat, and I'll just close off the edge where I've turned the whole project through. I've got exactly the same to show you here, but with a star fabric. So this is again a muslin fabric that I ordered online from Etsy. I'll show you that there. So it's quite nice. So yeah, I think that would be really useful to either put over your shoulder for feeding time, or I can put it in the pram, or I could use it as a little cover up perhaps on the buggy. So I don't know, we'll wait and see how it works out, but I did think that that would be quite useful, even for mopping up little spillages and things like that, to be honest. So there those. In terms of my other cloths and things that I've been making, I have been trying to get a little bit creative. So I ordered some plain cream Egyptian, what was it called? It was a plain cream fabric, basically. It's a muslin again that I got from eBay. So I think it was about £2.99 a metre, which was, I thought, quite reasonable. And then I've used up bits of scrap fabric, which you'll probably recognise from my previous project, just to decorate it a little bit and make it a little bit more fun and a bit more individual. So I'd actually got a little bit of this fabric left over from my dress project, which I thought would be lovely. So I've literally added a bit to the top and a bit to the bottom. And if I just hold that up so you can see it, yeah, it just makes the muslin a little bit more, yeah, just individual really. So quite pleased with that one. The next one, I've used a bit of this kind of bag fabric, and I've tried to be a bit more creative. I've added on 2 little hearts. So I've stitched those onto the muslin cloth, and then I've added on that kind of panel detail through the front. This one, rather than turning the whole thing through and top stitching it, I did a different thing. So I actually overlocked it. So two pieces of muslin fabric, I overlocked them together, and then I used my overlocker line as just something to turn over, and I've basically created a seam, and then I've stitched all the way around. So either way, I think if you're turning it through or you're creating a seam like that one, it works quite nicely, and it just gives a slightly different effect basically. And then the next one is just a kind of panel down the down the front there. So again, that's that dog fabric as well. So that's worked out quite well. And then the final bit of doggy fabric that I've got left, I've just used for like a more mini type cloth, which again, I've stitched on the inside, I folded it through, and then I've top stitched it round. So again, that can be used for little spillages, and I think it would be quite helpful when I'm out and about, really. So yeah, there were those things. So, but I'm still looking for ideas of other things that I can make. Some of my favourite suggestions that you've come up with when you left me previous comments were making a baby sleep sack. So I'm looking forward to making one of those. I'm still just trying to deliberate what kind of fabric I should use for that, and if I've got anything in my stash or if I need to order anything. Someone said making little baby hats as well out of jersey scraps. So I think that'll be a really cool little project to make, and a few of you suggested different websites and different pattern companies and things that I should look at. So I just need to spend some time basically looking on the internet and just scouring kind of what's available. And a few of you also recommended other bloggers and YouTubers and people on Instagram that are also expecting babies, and they've made some quite cool things. So thank you very much for all those suggestions. I've been absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of love and comments that I've had on here, so I really do appreciate that. Now, the final thing I wanted to show you was actually something that I made quite a while ago, but I'm not sure if it's really going to be suitable for the nursery or not, but I thought I'd show it to you and then, you know, let me know what you think. So I actually made this bunting for my wedding, which was a few years ago now, but I ended up just coming across it when I was sorting out the spare room, and I thought, do you know what, that might work quite well in the spare room, just to kind of have up, you know, on the wall somewhere or on a shelf or something like that. So I made this out of scrap fabric at the time. So there's pink in there, there's blue in there, there's various different shades of things left over from scrap fabrics that I had. And then I used a pink bias binding for the top to sew it all together. So I don't know about you, but I absolutely love bunting. So there's probably about maybe just over a meter's worth there. So yeah, I quite like that. So maybe I will put it in the nursery, or maybe I'll change my mind. But I don't know if you or any of your friends have got children. Let me know if they've got bunting up, because I don't know if it was something that you do in nurseries really, but I do quite like the idea of it. But I guess it's kind of up to me, and I can do what I want. So but yeah, so they're the main things that I've got to show you today. In my next video, I'm hopefully going to have this Tara dress finished and ready to show you, and I'm sure I'll have some other projects ready to go as well. But I was wondering if you could just let me know any kind of videos that you'd like me to record in the future. So if you have got ideas of things that you'd like to see here on my channel, then I would appreciate it if you could just let me know, because I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the kind of content that you enjoy watching, as well as the kind of content that I enjoy making and recording and all of that kind of thing. So please do leave me a comment and I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. If you are enjoying watching my videos, then please do subscribe if you haven't already, and do hit the little bell icon, because then you'll get notified when my latest videos go online. But until next time, I shall leave it there and say see you soon. Bye.